The second most popular tourist site in Lisbon isn't actually that tram that's coming up on a future episode of Hidden History. No, the second most popular tourist site in Lisbon is what's behind that tram. Hi guys, welcome to Hidden History and welcome to Lisbon, Portugal. I'm Daniel and today we're going to be uncovering the hidden history of the Mercado de Ribeira, or better known as the Time Out Market. Today we're going to uncover the hidden histories of iterative architecture, Roman factories and somatic evolution. Yeah, that's a big handful. Tourists who come to the market today are going to see a bustling, vibrant place of trendy restaurants, the best of Portuguese food and culture, and it looks very modern and cool in an ancient historic building. But the market actually has a great history to it, and there's a lot about this site which tells us about the history of Portugal and the history of Lisbon. So let's get into it. Okay. Market de Ribeira is located right next to Caixa do Sword station. You can sort of see the station just along there, across the road. There's the market. This location next to Caixa do Sword station is actually right next to the river. So the river is just there. And that's super important for why this building ended up here in this location in the last 200 years. So the market just here originally would have been built right next to the loading docks and the quays of the river, allowing goods to come in from all over Portugal and all over Europe and all over the rest of the world. So I love maps, so I thought we'd have a look at the map of the area. And here's the market, Time Out Mercado de Ribeira, and next to it is the station that I said was put in the early 20th century, so way after the market was established here. And down here we have the quayside, where goods will have been unloaded and brought to Lisbon from all over the world. And I'm interested in this square here. Now this square, the Praça Dom Louis I, has some fascinating hidden history hidden underneath it. Let's go down and take a look. Head down into this parking garage here, beneath the square. See what we can find. Go down, and here on the wall we have some of the details of this area, the Mercado de Ribeira near Caixa do Sword, and it tells us that it was a Roman wharf from the 1st century to 6th century AD. There were wood and stone piers here. It was a naval workshop and a tide grid. The Brazilian Commerce Company worked here. There was a fort here in the 17th century, another pier in the 18th century, and a royal arsenal foundry was here in the 19th century. So this is just going down into the parking garage. Let's see what else we can find down here. In the 1st century AD, this place was a Roman pottery, Roman pottery factory, and we can see some of the pottery here. I'm just trying to keep out of the way. Oh dear, there are people driving past going, what's he doing? What's he doing? They're saying that in Portuguese, of course. You can see some of the pottery that they've unearthed from this area here. The things that they found here, some of this is from the 16th and 17th centuries. And we've got here what look like pipes, fragments of plates, little combs, and so on. Let's just go down here, see if there's any more interesting stuff to be found. Again, here we see some of the ceramics that have been found in this area. Again, it's from the 17th century. So this is a very historic site. Now it's a parking garage. Okay, so to get you back to the market, I'm just going to show you here the beautiful entrance to the market. It's combining traditional Portuguese tiles, azuleiros, with sort of high-tech multimedia presentations around the balcony of this beautiful rotunda opening. Even though the Time Out Market can seem like a theme park of Portuguese food for tourists today, it does actually represent a core essence of Lisbon. For over 500 years, Lisbon has been a central port for bringing new and somewhat exotic foods from Africa and Brazil into Europe. As such, it's developed a rich cuisine, a diverse food heritage, and a strong food culture. And it's partly that colonial heritage of international trade that brings the economic need to have this market placed in this location at that point in time. Sugar from Brazil and West Africa, spices from India and Indonesia, all being brought by sail ships for thousands of kilometres to this dock centuries ago, have been the building blocks in creating this tourist attraction today. The Mercado de Ribeiro started life as a Ribeira Vela market in the Campo de Cebolas, or the onion field area, where vegetables, fish and fruit were sold. Here are a few photos of the excavation of Campo de Cebolas, when a new underground car park was built on the site in 2016. It was moved to its current location in 1766, following the 1755 earthquake. The market at this time was known as Mercado de Ribeira Nova and was designed by engineer Rassano Garcia. It comprised of a 10,000 square metre building with an iron structure, a central corridor and running water, which allowed food to be kept fresh and clean. The market has had a number of iterations of restoration and remodelling over the years. The refurbishment of the market in the 1960s helped to solidify its status as a key cultural and culinary institution in Lisbon. I like this historic detail that you can see the cow above the door there. And there used to be a slaughterhouse here until the 1960s. There used to be an abattoir until the 1960s or 80s. I can't quite remember. From this side here, on the right-hand side, or the, what are we looking at here? The eastern side of the market is the traditional market still. The western side is the modern, trendy, refurbished bit. The eastern side of the market is busier in the morning. The real market, the traditional market, is busier in the morning at the moment. And we'll go and have a look at that. You can see some of the stalls that we've just walked past, the sort of marble stalls. They were put in the 60s and have just been refurbished over time since then. Let's go and have a look at some more of the traditional market, and then we'll go through to the restaurant market. At this point, a fishmonger, brandishing a fish knife, admonished me rather strongly for filming in the fresh food market. Apparently you're not allowed to film in this side of the market, so I beat a quick retreat. However, we are allowed to film in the restaurant side of the market, so let's move on over there. Down here we can see some of the restaurants and the bars on the west side of the market that will be heaving full of people later today. It's pretty early in the morning at the moment, so I tried to get here before all the tourists, but still the traditional market was very busy at this time. In 2014, the market underwent another transformation when it was taken over by Time Out, a food and travel magazine. Time Out Lisbon turned the market into a food hall featuring some of the city's best chefs and restaurants. The hall now features over 40 food stalls, each offering a unique culinary experience. The market has now become an important cultural centre in Lisbon, with live music and events held throughout the year. It has also become a popular destination for foodies, with visitors coming from all over the world to sample the best of Portuguese cuisine. I picked the Time Out Market for the second episode of Hidden History because it perfectly illustrates how I like to approach places. When we look past the patina of trendy restaurants, modern design and fashion, we see the structural history of location and culture interceding. Arguably the two biggest events that shaped Portugal, the 1755 earthquake and Portugal's colonial empire, are brought together in this place, this beautiful building, in this location at this time. This building has a remarkable hidden history which is far deeper than the surface of bars and trendy restaurants that we see today. Well, I hope that you enjoyed today's episode of Hidden History, and if you did, then a like or a subscribe would be much appreciated. And if you really liked it, then you could buy me a coffee. I thank you for watching, and I hope that you'll join me on the next episode when we have a closer look at the number 28 tram. Have a great day. Bye.